Alright, what is up, you guys? Thank you guys for chilling with me on this Token with Mojo, where we are token every single day. Today, people, as you can see, we're freaking reacting to a video of 60 minutes about the whole Titan thing that happened last year. Now, I just want to give you guys my opinion on it and shit like that. Um, Dude, I mean, I just saw this shit up on my feed just recently, and I was just like, yo, you know what, just check it out, and, just give me my reaction. Just give you a person that, is a little bit safety up on the water and all that kind of shit. So, let's get into this.
Some rules to make this carbon fiber and titanium. There's a rule you don't do that. Well, I did.
You don't move
you don't
fast
do
and
that.
break things if the thing you're going to break has got you inside it.
Not what we thought. A year on from the Titan tragedy,
We knew right where the sub was.
James Cameron reveals
Tapping sounds. Tapping sounds are ridiculous.
what really happened at the bottom of the ocean.
The entire world waiting with bated breath. We all knew they were dead.
So the Coast Guard lied.
Now, people,
That's next on 60
this shit
Minutes.
was wild last year. This shit
If there's
was
one
wild.
small comfort to be taken from the OceanGate deep-sea submersible disaster, it's that death was instant for the 5 occupants on board. But
Okay, so real quick, the whole, if you don't know what happened last year, it was the whole OceanGate incident where a billionaire took a sub, an experimental sub, mind you, to the depths of the ocean to go see the Titanic. Now, me personally, why wouldn't this man go and, test it on Lake Michigan or a freaking reservoir or something like that before then? Why would you go to the deepest parts of the planet of the ocean to see the Titanic up in an experimental vessel that even the whole entire community is like, yo, I would not do that? I mean, I get it. Stockton Rush, he was like, yo, we have to experiment. We have to test the boundaries of certain things. But when you're dealing with Mother Nature, maybe you need to freaking take a step back and be like, yo, people can die this way if they don't freaking respect Mother Nature, dog.
a year on from the tragedy, there are still so many unanswered questions, like why the strange-looking craft on a mission to the wreck of the Titanic catastrophically imploded, and why, for days on end, was the world led to believe there was hope for a successful rescue mission. The lack of credible information about what really happened is now becoming increasingly unfathomable, not only for other undersea explorers like Hollywood icon James Cameron, but also for the families.
Okay, real quick, everybody. This is a 420 friendly cut. So if you are not 420 friendly, I'm just giving you fair warning. Hey, I'm going to be smoking. I'm going to be smoking weed during this video and all that kind of stuff. So if you see me hitting the bong or hitting the bowl or something like that, either let me know in the comments and be like, yo, Mojo, we want to see an uncensored version, or you're not smoking weed, because I got another freaking channel, Chilling with Mojo. That's all PC. That's all, you won't see me smoking weed on it. So just wanted to give you guys a fair warning before. If you don't want to see me smoking weed, click off right now. If you don't give a fuck, hey, yo, I'm just giving you guys fair warning. Let's get back to the video.
Of the victims.
It's in my home, but it's in a box because I don't want to see it every day because it's make me remember this bad moment.
It might not look like much, but this shriveled styrofoam cup holds more meaning than most of us can fathom. For Sidonie Nargeolet, it's a treasured trophy, the only remaining evidence of her father's final adventure to the wreck of the Titanic. It must be so special for you to have that cup.
Yeah, it's very special because it was with my dad to his last moment. So, yeah, it's very special.
An avid deep-sea explorer, Paul-Henri Nargeolet made a habit of taking decorated styrofoam cups on his
No
missions
fucking way.
to see them shrink under the pressure of descent.
So they found that
Remarkably,
at the bottom of
this
the
one
ocean.
somehow survived the catastrophic implosion of the Titan, OceanGate's experimental submersible.
The all-out search for a missing submersible with 5 people on board leads to a
that
tragic
little cup
discovery,
is the
and there are
only
no
thing that
survivors.
survived the
1 year
freaking
on,
explosion.
Sydney is still desperate for
That is
answers,
sad.
but she's never heard from OceanGate.
They still haven't contacted you to give condolences
And what's
or
fucked is
explain what
that
happened?
OceanGate is
Nothing from
not
them.
even
No
reaching out to
condolences, no
anybody.
we are sorry, nothing.
That's
What the
extraordinary.
fuck is that?
Yeah.
These guys broke the rules. It's that simple. They should not have been legally allowed to carry passengers.
James Cameron is furious too. His friend, Sydney's dad, Paul Henri, should be alive today.
I got him and he got me.
Tonight, the legendary film director and Titanic expert is
So-
ready to set the record straight.
Real quick, this dude is actually going back to the Titanic. I know that there was a bunch of articles saying like, no, the billionaire goes to the Titanic. But no, this is actually the scientist dude that is doing shit smart. Like, if there is one person that you really do want to send on this planet to go check out the Titanic, it's this man right here, because he's actually going to do all the things that are smart. Like, I'm pretty sure if there was like a rainy day and he was like, no go, we can't launch on a rainy day, seas are choppy, communication will be choppy, no, we got to do this on a perfect day. Forecast says that it's going to be out there in like the next 6 days. Looks like we're anchoring down and we're waiting 6 days. This is the kind of man that would make that kind of call. He would not go under and be like, oh yeah, let's go. Nah, he's making a plan. He's making a fucking plan.
Right on the frenzied search mission.
Running all over the surface, the entire world, waiting with bated breath, talking about 96 hours of oxygen. We all knew they were dead.
And why, despite 5 active investigations, the world is still waiting for answers.
I think personally the reason why the world is still waiting for answers is, one, they kind of want hold on, I gotta clear this. They kind of want the Coast Guard to come out with answers. They kind of want the U.S. government to come out with answers, but come on guys, we know that the U.S. government is not going to give us those kind of answers. 2, we want answers from freaking OceanGate. Like, what the hell happened? Like, what was your reaction? How did you guys not know that this was going to happen? What could you have done to prevent this? It seemed like OceanGate, after the whole entire thing went down, they put their hands up. They said, we're shutting our doors, and they just left the situation. Like, everybody was just like, shut down OceanGate, gone. And it's really sad. Especially because like the man that was the tip-top point of all of this, he's dead. So there's not really anybody to like blame for all this. There's not like scientists. I mean, yeah, you could blame everybody at OceanGate, but they could say he was the man with all the money. What do you want me to do? Get fired? And I mean, there were people down the road that they did get fired. They did get let go. They were told like, hey, we don't need your opinion. And now look where they're at.
I think they went by a procedure that was torturous for the family.
I believe it was torturous for the family, but I think it was also...
coming out of the darkness like a...
I also think that the government did not want to be the bad guys in the situation. Imagine if you are in that situation, the whole world is on pins and needles, bated breath. I mean, me personally, when I heard about OceanGate, Titan and everything, and they lost contact, I mean, I was one of the people that was like, those people are dead, but you saw how everybody was reacting to it, how it affected everybody, and you were like, yo, I can't just be like, yo, like, oh, they're dead. Do you know what kind of media frenzy you'd have? They would fucking light your ass on fire back then and be like, you're fucking evil. That's why the government waited so long. That's why everybody waited so long, because they were like, yo, if legally they're dead, then we can't, hey, hey, implosion, hey. But now everybody's going back and they're like, well, why didn't you tell us? Well, because we know that you guys would fucking take our heads off if we told you.
Goose ship. Still gets me every time.
James Cameron's knowledge of the deep goes far beyond his Oscar-winning picture.
Are you ready to go back to Titanic?
Oh, man, I love the story.
He's visited the Titanic wreck site 33 times and designed and piloted a submarine to the deepest known point on Earth.
I'm at the trench wall. I am working a steep rock cliff, over.
You've spent more time at the Titanic wreck than the actual captain spent on the ship.
Yeah, if you do the math, it actually is true.
Given his credentials, you'd think he'd be an obvious choice for investigators looking for expert advice on the Titan's ill-fated dive. And yet, Jim is still waiting for a phone call. What are you hearing about where the investigation is up to?
I've made myself available. I've volunteered to the investigative committee at the Coast Guard. Nothing.
They haven't interviewed you?
I think they want to do things their way. And frankly, I think they've kind of got egg on their face, and they don't want outside opinions. That's just my interpretation.
I think my interpretation is that the U.S. Coast Guard and the Navy has so many sensors, they pinpointed everything. They knew from beginning, middle to end. So, and the whole thing with the whole egg on their face, I think it's the public giving them a scapegoat, being like, oh, well, why didn't the government tell us when the implosion happened? Well, because the implosion happened, if you check out like later in the video, the implosion happened like literally probably like an hour and a half after they went underwater. So, like, you know, that'd be like me basically finding out that your loved one died, and before like the cops and everybody came to you and told you that they died, I was like, hey man, your loved one died. Sucks. And then just walked away. And then you would be like, what the fuck did you just say, motherfucker? I was like, no, come here. And that's kind of how the U.S. government felt. Was just like, they went to a couple of people, was like, hey, they're dead. We're gone. Like, here's the data, here's the science. We're not going to give you any more information because this wasn't a threat to national security, but yeah, remember, we kind of told them, everybody kind of told them, don't go out there, don't do that, right? Yeah, well, they did that, and you know, here's the time of day, we gone. And honestly, I kind of got to respect the U.S. government for that. At least they could figure out where the fucking implosion was. Like, yo.
It's a stunning claim from one of the world's leading experts in deep-sea exploration.
That was, almost a year ago, so,
That's astonishing to me.
why listen to a scientist?
We've taken a completely new approach to the sub design, and it's all run with this game controller and these touch screens. So if you want to go forward, you press forward. If you want to go back, you go back. Turn left, turn right, go down, go up.
OceanGate's maverick CEO, Stockton Rush, pushed the limits of sense and safety while promising passengers an unforgettable adventure.
OceanGate Expeditions offers you the once-in-a-life...
Like, all right, okay, strike that. I think I've seen those Logitech controllers like maybe once or twice in stores, and I literally looked at my girlfriend and I was like, hey, those are the Titan controllers. And she started busting out laughing. She was like, why don't you get one for your laptop? And I was like, I don't want my laptop to implode. Like, I don't want something fucked up to happen to my laptop. Like, fuck that shit. And, dude, I don't think I've seen them in stores anymore. I think I saw them on Amazon, and after the whole shit went down, they were like $20 on Amazon, and then they instantly was like $10, and then like $5. So... yeah, it was fucking crazy. It was crazy.
Time opportunity to be a specially trained crew member safely diving to the Titanic wreckage site.
The corporate video might sound enticing, but in reality, the Titan was an untested outlier. the only commercial submersible in the world with a hull made from carbon fibre composite, which industry experts agree is incapable of withstanding extreme deep-sea pressure. As a
Maybe that should have been like for a recreational craft, like if you're gonna go into a lake, or maybe a reservoir, like at most a reservoir, because sometimes reservoirs can get really, really fucking deep, like 75 feet deep. So yeah, maybe you should have stuck to that level, that decency for like a couple of years instead of going out to the ocean. That is just, it's not like a lake or reservoir where you're like, yo, you know, let's swim to the surface, hopefully we can make it to the top or some shit like that. No, when you're in the ocean, it's just fuck you, or dude, there's a storm coming up. Next thing you know, you're looking at waves that are going higher than your fucking boat. And you be respectful of Mother Nature, people, because she will fuck you up.
result, the sub wasn't classed or certified.
You're remembered for the rules you break. And you know, I've broken some rules to make this. Carbon fiber and titanium, there's a rule you don't do that. Well, I did.
He seemed to take a real pride in his unconventional approach, in breaking the rules.
Exactly, and I think this is a place where you've got to really know your stuff before you can step outside the box. You don't move fast and break things, as they say in Silicon Valley, if the thing you're going to break has got you inside it, along with other innocent people who believe your line of BS.
Oh, shit.
Join large-scale battles with military vehicles. The online action game War Thunder has received a major update.
Boom.
On June 18 last year, Stockton Rush set off for the most famous shipwreck on Earth, with Paul-Henri Nargeolet as guide, and three paying passengers: billionaire explorer Hamish Harding, Pakistani businessman Shahzada Dawood, and his teenage son Suleiman. But less than 2 hours into the dive on that Sunday, communications stopped and a media storm began.
Rescuers are racing to find the missing dive vessel.
But the U.S. Coast Guard is not letting up.
Well, we received a call in Boston the afternoon of the 18th. They had put a submersible down on the side of the Titanic, and they had lost communications earlier that day.
Captain J.
Okay, so this is the only thing I want to throw out there like that. I think the only reason why the Coast Guard and the U.S. government is not, like, giving detail is because they possibly got footage of the implosion. Like, they probably sent out drones to do, like, some kind of experiment, like underwater drones or some shit like that. And they were like, all right, let's check it out, like, whatever, let's just experiment, And they were just recording their descent, and they recorded the whole fucking thing, and they were kind of like, and then they like, they recorded the implosion, just poof, and they were just kind of like even the people that saw it were kind of just like, holy fuck, did we just witness a fucking implosion? Holy shit. And instantly, as they were like freaking out, they were already handed papers like, you cannot talk about this. You can go into that room that's padded and that you can scream your head off, but when you come out of that room, you cannot talk about what you just saw. And it's just like, holy shit, did I just see that fucking thing just, and they're just like, I saw blood, dude, I saw blood, I think I heard one of them scream. You know what I mean? And I think that's why the U.S. government is kind of like, yo, we just, like, because they heard a lot more shit. If they didn't have a drone in the freaking area to where they were, like, monitoring the situation just because they were like, yo, underwater drones, fucking experiment with them. You know what I mean? Or they didn't have they have the technology to hear every fucking thing. Like, every goddamn thing. Like, everything from, like, screaming to the point where they were arguing with each other, to the point where it was just, you know what I mean? And the U.S. government's kind of like, look, we got some people that heard all that shit, and they went insane. We are not going to release this to the public, because if they hear this shit, they will go insane. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, as an American citizen, you know what I mean? U.S. government is the biggest gang in the freaking United States. You know what I'm saying? Like, I shut the fuck up and let them do what they want to do, you know? Maybe there's a reason why they're not going to share that information. Because, I mean, I think it shocked a lot of people, and I think a lot of people cry. I was crying during that whole entire thing. I was hurt.
Jamie Frederick knew right away the US Coast Guard was facing an unprecedented challenge. And had you ever received a call of that nature before?
No, it was certainly anomalous. In fact, I've been in the Coast Guard for just about 30 years, and I've never dealt with a subsurface search. It was challenging.
For the families of those on board, it was an unbearable weight, with only one thing keeping them going: hope.
With all the boats that came, all the people involved for looking for them, I really had hope. I really thought they could find them.
And find them alive?
Yes, of course. I was thinking they would.
Straight up, what if it was these people had the money to afford all this shit? I mean, you got to think about it. How a lot of these people, yeah, they volunteered their time, but the Coast Guard didn't get into it until like the last minute, because they were just like, look, all right, nothing to see here, you know, time to sweep all this shit up, let's go. But these families, these companies, they were fucking rich as shit. They have the money to afford all of this just to go and find their family members. So one of the reasons why it did become a world-renowned thing was, I'm sorry to say, this lady's fucking rich. She can afford to freaking to be like, yo, I want everybody. Get everybody. Ma'am, you know, you realize that what we need to do. I don't give a fuck. Get them. And I'm not saying no. I'm not saying yes. I'm just saying, yo, that's probably one of the reasons why it became such a big thing, was because we had money behind this freaking rescue. These were billionaires. These were people of billion-dollar companies that disappeared like that.
Find them alive.
And for a couple of days there, a miracle seemed possible. Eerie echoes of banging noises picked up by sonar equipment lit a fuse under the search for the sub, painting a haunting picture of the 5 men trapped inside at the bottom of the ocean.
It just made such a beautiful media circus, you know, to talk about a race against time, these poor people, tapping sounds. Tapping sounds are ridiculous.
James Cameron wasn't surprised at all when US Navy analysis found the banging noises weren't human and were most likely from the ocean or ships in the area.
They're hearing a little crescent wrench or something tapping against a hull over the sound of 11 ships operating in the immediate vicinity, moving giant pieces of deck equipment around.
Not possible.
You know, that's like, you know, hearing a sparrow fart over the cacophony of an airport.
Okay, guys, so just to keep this in like a good bite-sized length of time, I'm gonna freaking put this shit in like 2 sections. So this is gonna be part 1 of the reaction to the whole OceanGate thing, the whole up-to-date information. We're gonna do part 2 of the whole OceanGate up-to-date information and all that kind of shit. So if you want to check out that, check out the next video that I got. But I want to thank you guys for chilling with me on this Talking with Mojo Weird Token every single day. Don't forget to hit that like, comment, and subscribe, people. And I greatly appreciate everybody for checking out the latest video, one of the other videos, especially the Daily High Club videos that I'll be posting and everything. It's blowing my mind to see me post that shit a couple days ago, and everybody's starting to watch that. And I mean, I'm like, it's not my best content, guys, but you guys are liking it. It's means the most to me, guys. Thank you so much.